Jumper up short. Waka rips down the rebound, backing his way down on top and shoot it up and score it. Just beast mode. Absolute strength on strength there, and Tobe Awaka wins again.
Yeah, Tobe Awaka. I said I wanted a double-double, right? From Tobe Awaka. And Tobe Awaka delivers tonight. What a ball game at McHale Center. The Arizona Wildcats win it by a score of 82-73 over the Texas Tech Red Raiders, avenging the loss, evening up the series. This is going to be, I said before the game, I think this is going to be a good rivalry moving forward between these two teams. I like it. They both wear red. They both have crazy fan bases. Both arenas are really jacked up. And it's good basketball. It's good basketball. Both these games were really, really great basketball, great college basketball games between these two teams. 5 players in double figures tonight for Arizona. How about that? Jaden Bradley, 16. Caleb Love, 16. Took 15 shots, but hey, 7 of 9 from the line. Whatever works. 15 for KJ Lewis, 15 for Henry Vasar, 14 and 11 for Tobe Awaka. Trey Townsend did not play tonight, sat out. Guess it was not business as usual, as Tommy Lloyd said when I asked him about that yesterday. I don't think having a concussion is business as usual, but hey, that's what coaches are they're not going to give up that information. They're going to skate around injuries and that type of thing. Carter Bryant getting the start tonight for Arizona. And again, it's just when you take, again, he's a freshman. When you take a freshman out of a role they've gotten comfortable with, and I know a lot of people have been asking, well, why aren't we starting Carter Bryant? Why aren't we starting Henry Vasar? Well, now you see what Carter Bryant, was that his second start or third start, J-Dub? Third start? It's not.
You're talking about Carter Bryant?
Yeah.
He had the 2, I think, in Atlantis, right? Yeah. Is when they made the switch. So I think 3.
Yeah, and it just has not gotten into a good flow for him when he's out there as the starter. And that's one of the reasons why he's not starting. Some guys are, especially young guys, some young guys are just better off the bench. Had to tonight, obviously, because of the injury, unless, Coach Lloyd maybe wanted to go in a different direction. Could have stuck somebody else in there to start. But again, he's deserving of the opportunity, but you take him out of his comfort zone and things don't always go smoothly. And that was the case tonight with Carter Bryant. But Arizona overall, again, the turnovers bother me. Just like there's so many unforced errors. So many unforced errors with this team. What did they end with? 14 turnovers in the game. And if I went back and counted them all, probably 10 of them were unforced. I can take forced turnovers, but just the crazy stuff. Throwing the ball to the other team. That happened twice, I think. Once by Jaden, once by KJ. Just plays like that. Just get underneath my skin. When you get into a difficult game. But again, look, they made stupid plays like that, and they still won by 9. So what am I talking about, right?
Kelvin?
No, and you know what happens, man, is that, the nerves. I mean, I know sometimes you look at these guys and they're great athletes and they're on TV all the time, but the nerves when you're in a big game like this and you lost to this team and coach has challenged, you could tell the way those guys were playing. They were challenged in that locker room from their coach to come out and be a tough squad, come out and be physical and locked in defensively. And all those guys came and they answered the bell. So I just felt like that's what it was, just nervous energy. And when you see your guys making that, turning the ball over ways that they're not used to doing, you just want them to settle down and calm down a little bit, because you know that once we do calm down, we're going to really take over this game. But again, I always say this: I'd rather have my guys wound up and fired up and pumped up, and I have to calm them down than to have to beg them to pick it up.
23 free throws as well in this game today. The Wildcats have taken advantage of that. They shot 78%, so that'll improve their average. Again, it's a strength of this team, and you got to love it. I think it's one of the reasons. It's one of the unsung reasons. I mean, we talk about the defense and the way they're defending down the stretch of these games, which has been awesome, and then when you get that advantage and you can go to the line and seal games at the line like they've been doing, you're going to win a lot of college basketball games. A lot of college basketball games. All right, we'll talk to you about it tonight. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. JW, your top takeaways from a 82-73 win over Texas Tech.
Well, number one, I'd like to pat Mr. Kelvin on the back because he's been talking the last 5-6 games about how good Caleb's been playing defense. Mm-hmm. I don't care about 4 for 15. I think, honestly, Kelvin, that was the best defense I've ever seen Caleb Love play. Mm-hmm. I mean, their best player, Chancellor Millen, got 3 shots off in the first half. He couldn't even get a look. He couldn't catch the ball. So my biggest takeaway, I mean, that's the top field goal percentage shooting team in the conference coming into this game. First game, Arizona in their building holds them to 36. Tonight holds them to 37. It was the defense, guys. It was the defense alongside that fighting for those 50-50s like we talked about in the pregame. I just think Arizona was the more prepared to go and fight for it, Kelvin, and go and get dirty and get on the ground. And it was a very good basketball game overall. I mean, I think you look at some of the percentages, maybe some scoring droughts. People might not point to this as one of the best games, but those two teams were so determined, Kelvin to come out of that building with the win. And that makes for great basketball. 2 highly competitive teams, rosters chock full of talent, great coaching staffs that got their guys on the same page. Just a really, the people in McHale tonight got treated to a really intense NCAA March Madness type of game. Really impressed with the Red Raiders and mostly impressed with Arizona's defense. Arizona's defense won this game.
And I see 2 teams with guys that are really locked in with their coaches. That's what it looked like to me. I mean, they were battling. Kind of, watching this team play, you kind of get a chance to see Coach Lloyd's attitude rubbing off on these guys. As they say, the team always takes the personality of the coach. And I just feel like these guys out there, okay, yeah, you want guys to shoot a high percentage. You want guys to make shots. But guess what? When the shot clock is going down, somebody got to get a shot up or it's going to be a turnover, okay? And sometimes you miss those shots because you didn't get a shot until that point because the defense was playing well, right? So, and that's what you're going to have when you're playing challenge team. When you're playing good teams, DK, things are not going to go good sometimes. If they were, they wouldn't be ranked 13 in the nation, right? You're playing another team that's a great team in your conference. You better be ready for a dogfight. You better be ready to get punched in the mouth, knocked down, kicked, and you got to get back up and keep fighting for your respect. And that's what they took from Texas Tech today. Now, they're going to see them again in that tournament now in that Big 12, but these games prepare you to win at any kind of way. And that's what's great to see about it, because I'm pumped up about this game because Texas Tech was tough. They didn't want to let us win that game. Coach McCaskey got that, he's from Irving. He right there around my time, right there in Dallas where I'm from, and he's a competitive little guy, man.
He's fiery, man. How many times I thought he gave the Sean Miller get the F off the floor a couple times to his kids, man. He came out to half court. He was like, whoa. I was like, whoa, man.
How about the fact that he pulled his best player off the court 1.5 minutes into the game because he didn't make a proper defensive rotation? Right. You talk about a coach who's really like dialed in. He pulled Toppin off the court first chance he got.
Well, he also saw that Vazar wasn't having it. Vazar was walling up, protecting the basket, making it real tough for him to score over Vazar. And in the last game, Vazar was out of the game, and we didn't have any rim protection, and I talked about that. The great thing about Awaka is he's a great rebounder, and he can push guys away from the basket and make it tough for him. But as you notice, Toppin got that hook right over the top of him, the left-hand hook that DK was talking about. He got it right over the top of Awaka. But when Vazar got in there and walled up on him, it was tougher for him to get going. And I also feel like that was more of what Coach was, ticked off at him about, was that he wasn't able to really score over Vazar, and it was, throwing off, everything they was trying to do.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. JT Toppin was the leading scorer in the game with 21 points on 9 of 21 from the field. He had 13 rebounds, so 21 and 13 rebounds for JT Toppin. Another solid game. He had 20 and 16 the last time, so 41 and 29 in 2 games against the Wildcats.
Yeah,
he's a pretty good player.
Yeah, J-Dub finna say what I was going to say.
Like Kelvin said, I don't remember any of those shots being easy.
No.
I mean, we
that
talked
one pick and roll.
Well, yeah,
it was one little
they
pick
ran
and
the
roll
pick
that he
and roll
got
a
the
couple
left
times.
hand, and then the hook shot that he's kind of padding left hand hook. But after that, I really feel like when we went big with Vazar and Awaka,
they took
it really
away.
affected them because they did the too big double on him. Right, and so I really think it took him away where he wasn't able to get any shots off, and he was looking a little frail today compared to the way he looked against us.
Well,
last
I think he's
time.
got a bad ankle too. I think he hurt his ankle.
Yeah,
A little gimpy.
He was not questionable for today's game, but there were rumors that really didn't know the status he had.
But
coming
no
in.
excuses though. We was
Right.
down Townsend.
Yeah,
We was down the guy too.
I'm not talking an excuse. I'm talking
no, I'm
JT
just
Toppin's a
saying,
very, very
you know.
good basketball player. This might not be indicative of actually how good he is, and he still finished with 20-10. So
Yeah, but what I will say, 21 shots to get there.
yeah, no, Vazar and Awaka. I mean, Vazar, you might remember the blocks. You might remember Vazar just putting his hands up, getting a couple blocks on top and one-on-one in the post. But Awaka had a lot to do with some of those more those struggles he had in the paint. And speaking of paint, guys, I mean, again, I think Arizona won this game because of their defensive intensity, 50-50 balls. But man, Kelvin, we talk about how downhill the guards are and how there aren't a lot of great shooters, sneaky. Caleb might go 6 for 7, he might go 1 for 15. But as far as the intent of them trying to get 2 feet in the paint, I mean, clearly that was the game plan. Clearly they were trying to make it happen in the paint because I don't know what the final total was, but it seemed like they were just living
48
in there.
Woo. Points in the paint.
Yeah.
48.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
Well,
I think they averaged 30, 31, something like that. So just a great game plan by the coaching staff to get that ball in there.
and I'll just add this one thing to that. Why wouldn't you when you shoot such a high percentage from the free throw line? Mm-hmm. If you attack the basket, you're not going to get any fouls. How many 3-point attempt fouls have we seen this year? How many even jump shot off the pull-up dribble? It's a sin to foul somebody on a jump shot. So it rarely happens. That's why Caleb Love wasn't getting any free throws at the beginning of the year because he was shooting a high percentage of 3-point shots. But when you attack that lane and you can score making those layups and they know they can't foul you. Did you see that easy layup he got on that pick and roll where he came around, crab dribbled
Second
a little
half,
bit?
yeah.
Yeah, he crab dribbled a little bit. The reason why that happened is he's been dropping dimes to guys on the pick and roll. So now guys are covering up. Texas Tech is known for sticking to their guy, trying to make sure that you don't drop off passes. That's why Coach McClassic got mad at Toppin because Toppin doubled and left open a guy at the box for the easy dunk. I think it was Vazar off a pass from Caleb Love again, right? And he's like, no, don't double. Force them to score over you because if you double, our guys are finding guys, right? So I just feel like, though, the way Caleb Love is playing, he ended up getting that easy layup on the little crab dribble pick and roll because the defense didn't know if he was passing and also he was being aggressive getting to the basket.